my sister Martha and I have been talking all week about her sermon last Sunday. It was wonderful. It's just been 2 short years. You have taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
Yes, well, you're living here next to the church all our lives. We've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons, but friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks and forgiveness. Have I met him yet?
No, Sandy, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully.
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to get that lovely jam.
Oh, but you haven't tried the quince. We put a little apple in it to take the darkness out. Oh, well, we'll send you over again.
No, you keep it here so I can make sure that I biscuit with it.
Well, I do hope that they don't make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with all this war trouble. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do with all this war trouble. But we'll have to get by.
You know, probably, you're on another planet.
Brewster?
Yes,
Point your gun the other way.
Gone.
Teddy?
There's your danger. There's your enemy, Japan.
Why, yes, of course.
Teddy.
No want to, Abby. Not so much talk about Europe, as more talk about the Japan.
Let's not talk about war, Teddy. Would you like another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Oh, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must admit, Miss Abby, that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
Yes, it is very peaceful here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's peaceful. The virtues of the older generation, they're all here at this house. The general virtues that went out with candle light, good manners, low taxes.
Well, actually, one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn, and it's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built it and furnished it. Oh, except for the electricity. Very little of, but Mortimer persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
Well, he has to work so late, the poor dear. We understand that he's taking Elaine with him to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer, you're a little wild.
Delighted!
Yes, we're just so happy to see Elaine takes to the theater.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to go home.
Oh, you don't disapprove of Mortimer, do you? Well, we would feel very guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I, because after all, it was here at our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
Of course, Miss Abby. It's all saying to you. I believe Mortimer himself to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I must also admit, I've watched the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
Oh, you mean his stomach?
Stomach.
Oh, yes, his dyspepsia. Oh, he suffered. So the poor boy.
No, I'm frank. I'm talking about your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer makes sure your newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater. And I don't doubt that some of them do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. We have no fear of that. When Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes things about the theater, but you can't blame the poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which is something he knows a lot about. But then they turned around and they gave him this terrible night position.
My.
Well, as Mortimer said, theater can't last much longer anyway. But in the meantime, it's a living. And I think that the theater might last a year or 2. Oh, now what do you suppose that is? Oh, no, Teddy, I'll get it.
Brewster.
Oh, hello, Mr. Klein.
How are you, Miss Brewster?
What news have you brought me?
Carol, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. Have you?
Oh, now, do you gentlemen know Dr. Harper?
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. You've come for the toys for the Christmas toys?
Oh, yes,
That's
yes.
splendid work you men do, fixing up discarded toys for poor children at Happy Christmas.
Well, it just gives us something to do. We have to sit around the station. You get tired playing cards, then you start cleaning your gun, and before you know it, you've shot yourself right in the foot.
Teddy, I want you to go upstairs and get that big box out of Aunt Martha's room. Oh, Mr. Brophy, how's Mrs. Brophy this time? She's been very ill.
Pneumonia.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Charge!
Oh, she's not now. Let the weeks go.
Well, I'll get you some beef broth to take to her.
Oh, don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
Oh, we made it this morning. Sister Martha is taking some over to Mr. Benitsky right now. It'll just be a minute. Sit down, be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble. Listen, you try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well, and she died months before. Well, if I know where pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
But I need a cabinet meeting to get a release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
I suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There are a lot worse people he could think he was. Damn shame. Nice family like this, hatching a cuckoo. Well, his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of a genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, seems to me I've heard he was a bit of a nut too.
Yeah, he was crazy like the fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was a kind of a quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards, remember some? He used the house here as a sort of clinic. Tried around for people.
And I hear he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
Well, the department never bothered him much because he was pretty useful in autopsy sometimes, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left his daughters fixed for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they ever spend any of it on themselves, me boy.
Yes, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
Oh, you don't know a tenth of it. You see, back when I was working with the Missing Persons Bureau, we were trying to trace down an old man we never could find. Do you know that there's a rental house that has this place on its list for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms. But you can bet that anybody who comes here looking for a room probably goes away with a good meal and maybe even a few dollars in anything.
Well, I suppose it's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Well now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper, Mr. Klein?
How are you, Miss Brewster? We just stopped in for those Christmas toys.
Oh yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out. They're all packed.
Oh, Carol's upstairs after him. It seems the cabinet has to okay it first.
Yes, of course. I hope Mrs. Brophy's better.
Oh, she's doing fine now. Your sister's getting some soup for me to take to her.
We made it this morning. I just took some to a poor man who's broken ever so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How was Mr. Benitsky?
Well, dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning.
Oh, can we be present?
No, I asked. He said it was against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Oh, Mr. Brophy, here's the soup. Make sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is fine. This will make a lot of kids happy. That O'Malley boy is nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I retired now. What's this?
Oh,
The
Teddy,
Oregon?
dear, Teddy, dear, put
The
that.
Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
You know, I've given my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
Oh,
well, what's the difference what kid gets from Bob Evans, Susie Cohen? We'll run along now, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Oh, not at all. Goodbye.
Well, I better be getting home.
Oh, before you go.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
Oh, the stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
No, once a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought that if he would go to George Washington, it might be a little change for him.
But he stayed under his bed for days, and he just wouldn't be anybody.
And we would much rather him be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy. You'll see that he signs these.
Oh, what are they?
Oh, Dr. Harper was here, and he's made all the arrangements for Teddy to go to Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
Why should Teddy sign any papers now?
Oh, it's better to have it all settled. If the good Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we couldn't get Teddy to commit himself. And that would mean an unpleasant legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands it would be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, and Dr. Harper has made arrangements for him to come tomorrow or the next day, just to meet Teddy.
Well, I better be running along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Well, give a house to Elaine, and Dr. Harper, please don't think harshly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do that.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner is going to be late too.
So, why?
Teddy, I have good news for you. You're going to Panama, and you're going to take another lock for the canal.
Oh, bully, just bully. I shall prepare at once for the journey. Charge!
Abby, while I was out, yes, you see, I couldn't wait for you, and I didn't know when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming.
But all by yourself?
I got along just fine.
I'll run right downstairs to see.
Oh, no. There wasn't time, because I was still all alone. Well, Martha, look in the window seat. Oh, it's Elaine. Come in here.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here. Oh, he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him? No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet.
No, dear.
He asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait? Oh, not at all.
Oh, please, come, sit.
Well, we really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you. Doing what? Well, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house. Well, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
Now, he's done this too often, and we are going to speak to him.
Please don't. After men whose idea of nightlife is taking me to a prayer meeting, it's wonderful going to the theater almost every night of my life. It's comforting for us too, dear. If Mortimer has to see some of those plays he has to see, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, dear. Oh, Elaine, what you must think of us not having tea clear.
Now,
by
don't
now.
bother with anything until Mortimer gets here. He'll be here any minute now. Well, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I better run over and say goodnight to him.
It's a shame you missed him, dear.
Yes, well, when Mortimer gets here, you tell him I'll be right back. Oh, hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine.
Oh, and Martha. Hello.
Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
Oh, I was just running over to tell Father not to wait up for me.
Well, I didn't think that kind of thing was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Abby.
Oh, how are you, dear?
I'm all right. My, you're looking well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
It was yesterday, wasn't it? Well, we're seeing a great deal of you lately. Come, sit down.
Abby, haven't you something to do in the kitchen?
Huh?
No, the tea things.
Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, make yourselves at home.
Make yourself at home. Can't you take a hint?
No, that was a little obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just finished breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
Well, that would make it pretty late, wouldn't it?
Not with the little stinker we're going to see tonight. From what I heard, we should be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You really ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
Oh, that musical isn't opening tonight.
No?
Darling, you're going to have to learn all the rules. With a musical, there are always 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. They liked it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh. Well, I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat in the subway and we listen to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you bring me home in a taxi. And you make a few passes.
Now, just a minute, darling. That is a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Well, I must admit that after the Berman play, you told me I had authentic beauty. And that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. But it wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I had.
My goodness, for a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where did you learn it?
The choir law.
I'll have to explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Oh, religion never reaches as high as the choir law. Which reminds me, I better go tell Father not to wait up for me.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
Rationalize what?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love. You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
The only way to regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say peace?
Oh, no, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
Well, I can't afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
Well, I can't wait that long. Where could we be married in a hurry? Say tonight.
Oh, darling, I'm afraid Father would insist on officiating.
Oh, God. I'll bet your father could make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
You wouldn't happen to be writing a review of it.
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. I may just give that play tonight a good review.
Oh, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Don't forget to tell your father not to wait up tonight.
I don't think I better tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell. I'll have him publish the marriage papers.
Nevertheless,
All right, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
darling, I'll talk it over with Father and set a date.
Oh, no, we'll have to wait to see what's in rehearsal. You know there will be a lot of other opening.
Hello,
nights in
Mortimer.
October. How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you, just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
I know, isn't it delightful? Well, goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Man amongst the cellar. He digs lots for the canal down there.
You're so sweet with him, and he's very fond of you.
Teddy's always been my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
Yes, there's another, Jonathan.
I never heard of him. Your aunts never speak of him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn early, by request. Jonathan was the kind of boy who liked to cut worms in two with his teeth.
Whatever became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he didn't want to go to medical school first, and his practice got him into trouble.
Oh, aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh, we're skipping dinner. We don't have to start for half an hour.
Oh, well, then I'll just leave you two alone together again.
Don't bother, darling. I'm going to run next door and talk to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little bit. I'll be right back. I'm going to take the shortcut through the cemetery.
If that prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to leave you beside distilled water.
Mortimer, that's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible. Is Elaine having a good effect on you?
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling! Martha, come in here. I have the best news. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Married? Oh, Mortimer. We knew it would happen just like this.
Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
That statue over there. That's a her and Anita Carnina.
Oh, no, dear. That's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
Oh, no, on Mrs. Stout's left ear, that bird. It's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
I don't understand how to be talking about a bird at this time. What with Elaine and the engagement and everything?
Well, it's an endangered species. Thoreau was very fond of them. Oh, by the way, I left an envelope here last week. It was one of my chapters for my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
Mortimer, when are you going to be married? What are your plans? You must tell us something more about Elaine.
Elaine? Oh, yes. Elaine thought it was brilliant.
Oh, what was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, when Elaine comes back, we're going to have a little celebration. We're going to drink to your happiness. Now, isn't there some of that Baltimore cake left? Oh, yes. And I'm going to open a bottle of wine.
And just think, it happened in this room.
Now, what could I have done with that?
Oh, Mortimer, tonight when you're sitting beside your fiancé, I do hope that the play is something that you can really enjoy for once. Maybe it's something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, gee.
When the curtain opens, the first thing you'll see will be a dead body. Aunt Abby,
Oh, yes, dear.
you were going to make arrangements for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happydale?
Oh, yes. Yes, Dr. Harper was here today and left all the paperwork for Teddy to sign. Oh, here it is.
Oh, he's got to sign these right away.
Oh, yes, that's what Dr. Harper thinks. This way there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
He's got to sign them this minute. He's down in the cellar. Get him up here right away.
Oh, there's no such hurry as that.
Oh, when Teddy is down the canal, you can't get his mind on anything else.
He's got to go to Happydale now, tonight.
No, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Forever, we are never going to be separated from Teddy.
Oh, listen, darlings, I'm frightfully sorry, but I have some shocking news for you. Now, we must try to keep our heads about us. You know, we've been sort of humoring Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happydale. Why he must be confined.
Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Oh, you've got to know sometime. I might as well tell you now. Teddy's killed a man. There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Yes, dear, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Yes. So, Mortimer, just forget about it. Forget that you saw the gentleman.
Forget?
Yes, we never thought you'd peek.
Who is he?
His name is Hoskins, Adam Hoskins, and that's all I know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
That's all you know about him? Well, what's he doing here? What happened to him?
He died.
Here, Martha, men don't just get into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
How?
Now, Mortimer, stop being so inquisitive. Gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
How did the poison get to the wine?
Well, we put it in the wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you know what you've done. You didn't want Dr. Harper to find the body.
Well, no, not at tea. That wouldn't be very nice. Now, Mortimer, I want you to forget the whole thing. The whole thing. And because, Mortimer, please behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like you do.
And don't you tell Elaine.
No.
Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's feeling much better, but she wants us to take Junior to the movies again.
Well, maybe that'll be tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, this time we're going to go where we want to go. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Hello, city desk. Hello, Al. You know who this is? That's right. Listen, Al, when I left the office, I told you where I was going, remember? Well, where did I say? And it would take me half an hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? That's right. I must be here. Hey, Abby. Hey, Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. I can't turn you into the police, but what am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget about the whole thing.
Forget? My dear Aunt Abby, can I make you realize that something has to be done?
No, Mortimer, you have to behave yourself and not just because you're flying off the handle. That's not right.
Oh, Mr. Hotchkiss!
Hoskins.
Oh, whatever his name is, you can't leave him here.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear.
Dear, Teddy is downstairs now giving the lock.
You mean you're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Yes, dear. That's what we did with the others.
You can't bury Mr. Others? Others? Others?
The other gentleman.
By others, you mean more than one others.
Yes, dear. Now, let me see. This is 11, isn't it?
Oh, dear, no, dear, this makes 12.
Oh, Abby, I think you're wrong. I think this is only 11.
No, dear, I remember when Mr. Hoskins first came, I thought to myself, this makes an even dozen.
But Abby, we really shouldn't count the first one.
Oh, I did count the first one, and that makes it 12.
Hello? Oh. Hello? Oh, hello, Al. Hi, it's good to hear your voice.
Well, they're all buried in the cellar.
No, Al. I am sober as a lark. I called you before because I was feeling a little Pirandello. Oh, you wouldn't get it out. Look, I'm glad you called. Get a hold of George right away. He's got to review that play for me tonight. I can't do it. No, Al, you're wrong. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Now, George has got to review that play tonight. Look, it's my department, and I'm running it. You get a hold of George. Where will he? 12. 12! 12!
Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, so that makes 12.
All right. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley, but he was a Baptist.
But I really think we can't claim full credit from him, because he just died.
What Martha means is without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
And it didn't seem right to have that lovely room go to waste when so many people needed it.
He was such a lonely old man.
Yes, all his kith and kin were dead, and it left him so forlorn and unhappy.
I felt so sorry for him.
And then, when his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair, looking so peaceful. You remember, Martha? We made up our minds then and there that if we could have little old men that we could direct to that same peace, we would.
He died right there in that chair? Oh, how awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. Why, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather used to always have a cadaver or two around the house. You see, Teddy was downstairs digging Panama. He thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever that died.
And that meant he had to be buried right away.
So we all went down to Panama, and we put him in the luck. So now you see why we tell you not to worry, because we know exactly what needs to be done.
And that's how this all started? That man walking in here and dropping dead?
Well, we couldn't depend on that happening.
So, remember those jars of poison on Grandfather's laboratory shelves all those years?
And you know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You ain't enough of a pickle, lady.
Well, for 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoon of arsenic, just a half teaspoon of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Oh, that must have quite a kick.
Yes, as a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen had time to say, "How delicious!"
Well, I must get things started in the kitchen.
Oh, I wish you would stay for dinner. Oh, I'm trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't eat a thing.
I'll be with you in a minute, dear. But I feel so much better now, Mortimer. Oh, but you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? Oh, you must be so happy. Well, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh. Oh, it's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see I was excited, so I told him to dance, and he made it hard for me to get away. But listen, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Run along home, Elaine. I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Oh, you know I always call you up every day or two.
we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Why not?
Elaine, something has come up.
What, Mortimer? You've lost your job.
Oh, I didn't lose my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight. So just run along home, Elaine.
Oh, I must know what's happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, dear, I can't.
If we're going to be married,
Married?
have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh. Oh, yes. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Come along home, Elaine, because I gotta do something.
You can't propose to me one minute and throw me out of the house the next.
I'm not throwing you out of the house. Will you get out of here?
No, not until I've had some sort of an explanation.
Hello? Hello? Oh, hello, Al. Hold on a minute, will you? Well, I'm sure it's important, but it can wait a minute, can't it? Hold on. Look, Elaine, you're a sweet girl, and I love you. But I have a lot on my mind right now, and I want you to go home and wait for me to call you.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married and I have problems to face, I do hope you're less tedious and uninspired.
When we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Elaine!
Elaine! Oh! Al! Hello, Al! Hello! Hello? Al?
That's the doorbell, Mortimer. Oh, how did you come in?
I understand you have a room to rent.
Oh dear. Oh boy.
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I am Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Oh, well, please, come, sit down. Oh, I'm sorry, we had to set the table for dinner.
Hello, let me talk to Al again. City desk. Al. City desk. What? Oh, sorry, wrong.
May I see the room?
Why don't you sit down for a minute? Let's get acquainted.
Well, that won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Well, is Brooklyn your home?
I haven't got a home. I live in a hotel. I don't like it.
Hello, city desk.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
I haven't got any family.
All alone in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, you have come to just the right house. Have a seat.
Hello, Al. More. We got cut off. Listen, Al, I cannot cover that play tonight, and that's all there is to it. I can't.
Oh, what church do you go to? We have an Episcopal church practically next door.
Well, I'm a Presbyterian. I used to be.
What is George doing in Bermuda? Well, of course I told him he could go to Bermuda. It's my department. Well, you've got to find somebody. Who else is there around the office?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
There has to be someone around the place. Look out. How about the office boy? You know, the bright one, the one we don't like. Well, look around the office. I'll hold on. Hello.
Let me see the room.
Well, it's upstairs, but why don't you try a little bit of our wine before we get
dear.
started?
I never touch it.
Oh, we make this ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine. I haven't tasted that since I was a boy. Well, thank you.
There must be some printers around. Look out. How about the fellow who sets my copy? He ought to know how to write. His name is Joe. Third machine on the left. But Al, he might turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery's full of them.
No, I am not drinking, but I'm about to start.
Do you serve meals?
We could, but first we'd like to see if you like our wine.
Mortimer,
Oh, want to be poisoned? You want to be murdered? You want to be killed? Get out! You can't do things like that. I don't know how to make you understand, but it's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
No.
What I mean is, well, this has developed into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't stop you from doing things that you like to do, so why should you interfere with us?
Hello. All right, I'll go see the first act and I'll pan the hell out of it. But look, Al, you got to do something for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, the head of the legal department. Have him meet me at the theater. I'm counting on you. Okay, I'm starting now. Look, I have to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. But before I go, you promise me something?
Well, we'd have to know what it was first.
Oh, I love you very much, and I know you love me. You know I would do anything in the world for you two. But will you do one little thing for me?
What would you like us to do?
Don't do anything. Don't do anything! While I'm gone, don't let anyone in the house. And leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
Because I need time to think. I've got quite a little to think about. Now, you know I wouldn't want anything to happen to you two.
What on earth would happen to us?
Anyways, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. Don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without full Methodist services, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
Can't that wait till I get back?
Oh, then you could join us.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you'll love the services, especially the hymns. Oh, remember how beautifully Mortimer sang in the choir before his voice changed?
Now remember, you're not going to let anyone in the house while I'm gone. It's a promise.
Well, I think we can go along with Mortimer now that he's cooperating with us.
Have you got any paper?
Oh, yes.
I'll be back as soon as I can. There's a man I've got to see.
Will this do?
That'll do. If I write my review on the way to the theater, I could save time.
And Mortimer wasn't quite himself tonight.
Well, it's only natural, and I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he just got engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Well, I'm very happy for Elaine, and I think their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer.
Well, at least he's not going off kiting to China or Spain.
I never understood why he wanted to go to those places.
Well, to Mortimer, the theater is pretty much small potatoes. He needs something big to criticize. Something like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's coming back for the services for Mr. Hoskins, we'll need another hymnal. There's one in my room.
Oh, Martha, it's really my turn to read the services, but since you were here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to do it.
Oh, dear, that's very nice of you, but are you sure you want me to do it?
Oh, it's only fair.
Well, oh, I think I'll wear my black bombazine. Oh, and Mother's old brooch.
Okay. Oh, no, we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in. Oh, who do you suppose it is?
Wait a minute, let me look. It's two men. I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
There's a car at the curb. They must have come in that.
Let me see.
Do you recognize them?
Oh, no, they're strangers to me.
We'll just have to pretend like we're not here.
evening, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. There is something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Oh, yeah, I'm hungry. Oh, look, Johnny, drinks.
Oh dear.
As though we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
And Abby, and Martha, it's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
It's me, Jonathan. Your nephew, Jonathan?
No, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan, and don't you pretend to. Why, you just get out of here.
Well, I am Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew, Jonathan.
I still see you're wearing that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought in England. And you, Aunt Martha, still the high collar, behind the scar from where Grandfather's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
My face?
Yes.
Well, Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. He is a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. Abby, remember when we took the little Schultz boy to the movies and I got so frightened? Yes. It was that face.
Oh, easy, Johnny, easy. Oh, don't worry, ladies. Last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. I give him another one right away. But this last face, well, I saw that picture too, just before I operated, and I was intoxicated.
See what you've done to me, Doctor. Not even my own family recognizes me.
Johnny, you're home in this lovely house. How often he tells me about Brooklyn, about this house, about his aunts that he loves so much. You know you, Johnny? You know, it's Jonathan. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, it's been a long time, Jonathan. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes, Jonathan. Where have you been?
London, South Africa, Australia. Well, for the last 5 years, Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business together there.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
We found Chicago to be awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot for us too.
Well, it's wonderful to be back in Brooklyn again. And you, Aunt Abby, and Martha, you do not look a day older. Exactly the way I remember you. Sweet, kind, caring, hospitable. And Teddy. Dear Teddy, did he ever get into politics? My little brother, Doctor, was determined to become president.
And he is fine, just fine, and Mortimer is well, too.
I know all about Mortimer. He has evidently fulfilled all the early promise of his early nasty nature.
Well, we're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it was very nice to have seen you again.
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It is good to be home again.
Martha, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Yes, if you just excuse us for just a moment. That is, unless you're in a hurry to go someplace.
Johnny, where do we go from here? We gotta think fast. The police. The police have got pictures of that face. I gotta operate on you right away. We gotta find some place for that. And we gotta find some place for Mr. Spinozzo too.
Do not waste any worry on that rat.
But Johnny, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
I said, forget about Mr. Spinazzo.
But you can't leave a dead body in the rumble seat. You shouldn't have killed him, Johnny. He's a nice fellow. He gives us a lift. And what happens?
You said that I look like Boris Karloff. Now you did that to me, Doctor. That is your work.
Johnny, we find a place somewhere. I could see it.
Tonight.
Oh, no, Johnny. Not tonight. I got to eat first. I'm hungry. And I'm
Jonathan, we're very glad that you remembered us and that you took the trouble to come in and say hello, but you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in this house. So, we've come in to say goodbye.
Unhappy. I can't say that your feelings towards me come as a surprise. I have spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I gave you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. I told him that no matter how rushed we were to get to Chicago, that I would find the time to bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
It is a pretty good sized pot roast.
Oh, pot roast.
I guess the least we can do is...
Well, thank you, Aunt Martha. We will stay to dinner.
Well, we'll just hurry things along.
Yes.
Oh, and Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, you can go up to Grandfather Brewster's old laboratory, to the washroom.
Oh, is that still here?
Oh, yes, just as it was. Well, I'll help Aunt Martha get started, since we're all in a hurry.
Grandmother's laboratory, and just as it was. A perfect operating room, Doctor.
Too bad we can't use it.
Well, after you finish with me, we could make a fortune here. The laboratory, the large ward in the attic, 10 hospital beds. Doctor, Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
If I work yourself up, Shannon. Anyway, for Brooklyn, I think we're here too late.
Doctor, you don't know this town. Practically everyone in Brooklyn needs a new face.
So many of the old faces are locked up.
Only a very small percentage. Besides, the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner.
Oh, we'll be invited. Why, this place will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful. This nice, quiet house, those aunts of yours. Oh, such sweet babies. I love them already. I get the bags, yeah?
Oh, wait, Doctor. We have to be invited first.
But you just said that.
We'll be invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, two helpless old ladies.
It's like it's true, a beautiful dream. Only I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful here.
That's what makes this place so perfect for us. It is so peaceful. They wouldn't be interested in our experience in Indiana.
So, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life for sure, but we really should have allowed you to talk
Well,
so
my
late.
meeting Dr. Einstein in London changed the whole course of my life. You remember I had been in South Africa to dine with business. And then Amsterdam that March. Well, I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made that possible for me.
Good job, Johnny. Let me take the bandages off. His face looks so different. The nurse had to introduce me.
I love that face. I still carry a picture of it with me.
Oh, this looks more like you used to look. But I still wouldn't go to the room.
Yes, Doctor. I think we'll go back to that face.
It's safe now.
Well, I'm sure that you want to get to wherever it is you want to
Aunties,
go.
I am so full of that delicious dinner, I couldn't move a muscle.
Well, after all, it is very late.
I found it! I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
Well, the story of my life, my biography. Here's the book, the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, the two of us. President Roosevelt and General Goebbels at Kulebra Cup. This is me, and that's you, General.
Change.
Well, you see, this picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started working on Kulebra Cup. We're still digging rocks. And now, General, we will both go to Panama and inspect the new lock.
Not to Panama, Teddy. No, no.
We go some other time. Panama's a long way off.
Nonsense. It's just down in the cellar.
Cellar?
Oh, we let him dig Panama now.
General Belcher, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you accompany me to inspect the new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Now go to bed.
You're not Wilson. Well, your face is familiar. Well, let's see. Not anyone I know now. Perhaps later. Yes. On my hunting trip to Africa, you look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
Oh, Teddy, no. This is your brother, Jonathan.
He's had his face changed.
Oh, so that's it. A nature faker.
Oh, Teddy, perhaps you should go to bed. Jonathan and his friend have to get back to their hotel.
General Goebbels, inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President. We go to Panama.
Bully! Follow me, General. Oh. He's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
Abby, I simply must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of a hotel. We don't have a hotel. We came directly here.
Oh, there's a very nice little hotel just...
Martha, this is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
You mean there are lodgers in this house?
Well, not just now, but we plan to have some.
Well then, my old room is still free.
Oh, but we wouldn't have any place for Dr. Einstein.
Well, he can share the room with me.
No, Jonathan, I'm afraid you can't stay
Dr.
here.
Einstein and I need a place to sleep. Yeah. You remember that as a boy, I could become very disagreeable. I can assure you, it would not be pleasant for any of us.
Perhaps be better let them stay here tonight.
Well, just for tonight, Jonathan.
I am glad that's settled. Now, if you can get the room ready.
It only needs airing out.
We keep our rooms ready for our lodgers. I'm sure that you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
You have a very distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his talents, but you will. In a few weeks' time, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
Oh, he can't operate on you
Well,
here.
when we get organized, when we resume our practice, well, I forgot to tell you, we'll be turning Grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be very busy.
Jonathan, you can't make our house into a hospital.
beauty parlor.
Down in the cellar.
Oh, Dr. Einstein, the aunts have invited us to come and live with them.
Oh, you fixed it?
No, just for tonight.
Get the room ready immediately.
Well, for tonight.
Charlie, when I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
Oh, it just fits Mr. Spinoza. It's a whole teddy duck. 6 feet long, 4 feet wide.
Down there?
You'd think they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinoza along. Now that's hospitality.
Joking, my aunts. They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
Well, how do we get him in?
You're right. You just can't walk into the door. See, we'll drive the car up between the house and the cemetery. And then when the aunts go to bed, we'll bring Mr. Spinoza in through the window.
Bed. Just think, we've got a bed tonight.
Oh, easy, doctor. Remember you're operating tomorrow, and you better be sober.
Oh, I fix you're beautiful.
If you don't.
Jonathan, the room is ready.
Oh, then you two can go to bed. We're going to drive the car up around the house.
It's all right where it is until morning.
I don't want to leave it in the street. That might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to let them stay more than one night in this house, for one thing. What are the neighbors going to think? People coming in with one face and then going out with another.
What are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins! Oh, the poor dear, it can't be very comfortable in there for him. Oh, and he's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, I think Teddy had better get Mr. Hoskins downstairs right away.
Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no, we'll wait until they've gone to bed, and then we'll come up and hold services.
General Goggles was very pleased. He said that the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Oh dear, this will come as a shock to the general.
Oh, well, then we mustn't tell him.
But it's his department.
No, we mustn't tell him. It would spoil his visit.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aunt Abby. He must be told.
Oh.
It's out of my hands. Army regulations.
Oh, we mustn't tell him. We mustn't tell him.
Let's keep it a secret.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, how do we keep it a secret?
Well, Teddy, you go back down into the cellar, and then when I turn out the lights and it's all dark, you come back up and you take the poor gentleman down to the canal. Now, get along, Teddy.
Oh, and we'll come down later and hold the services.
You may announce that the President will say a few words. Where is the poor devil?
Oh, he's in the window seat.
Oh, it seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Martha, when Jonathan and Dr. Einstein come back, let's see if they can go to bed right away.
Yes, and then by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed for the services. Right. Abby?
Yes.
I've never even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh my goodness, that's right, you were out. Well, you come right over here with me. He's actually very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We're pretty well here.
Oh, Jonathan, your room is ready. You can go right up.
Oh, well, we we don't keep regular Brooklyn hours, but you two run along to bed.
Oh, no, you must be very tired, both of you, and we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time that I came home to take care of you.
But we were planning.
And Martha, did you just hear me say go to bed? You can bring the engines to the laboratory in the morning. All right, now let's all run along to bed. Just another flight, Doctor.
I'll wait until you're all up and then I'll turn out the light.
Run along, Aunt Martha. All right, Aunt Abby, turn out the lights.
I'll be right up.
Aunt Abby, now. I'll open the window, and you go around and hand him through.
Oh, no. He's too heavy for me. You go outside and push, and I stay here and pull. Then together we get him down to Panama.
All right. I'll go outside, have a look around, and when I tap on that glass, you open the window.
Okay.
Oh no.
Who left this open? Okay.
Oh, careful.
Oh. Lost the brake somewhere. Charlie, let's
You are careful.
shoot. Okay. I got him, Shani. Oh, Shani, somebody at the door. Go quick. No, I'm in the chair. Go quick.
Miss Abby. Miss Martha. Miss Abby. Miss Martha. Who's there? Teddy, is that you? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Lane Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
Well, I came by to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Turn on the lights, Doctor. You chose a rather untimely moment for a social hall.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
Well, we happen to live here.
You do not live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Well, perhaps we should introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein,
Dr. Einstein?
a surgeon of great distinction, and, well, something of a magician.
I suppose you're going to tell me your full.
I am Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Well, yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
And what did they say about me?
Just that there was another brother Jonathan, that's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll just be running along home. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything. And just what do you mean by that? And why are you here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house.
You thought you saw someone prowling around the house.
Yes, weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone walking from the house to the car.
What else did you see?
That's it. That's all. That's why I came over here, to tell Miss Aggie to call the police. But since it was you, and that's your car, I don't have to bother her. I'll just be running along home.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
Oh, I think she tells the truth, Chang. You let her go now, huh?
No, Doctor. I think she's lying. Breaking into a house in the middle of the night? I think she's dangerous. I don't think she should be allowed to run around loose.
Take your hands off me! Oh, please. Please.
So it could be a private funeral.
Teddy! Teddy, tell me who I am!
Well, that's my daughter, Alice. John!
No, Teddy!
The handkerchief.
No!
Stella.
What is the matter?
What's happening down there?
No, we've always called it. Go to bed.
Mortimer! Where have you been?
Oh, to the Nora Bay's Theater, and I should have known better. Oh my God, I'm still there.
Jonathan, your brother, and that's Dr. Einstein.
Now, I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is this?
I've come home, Mortimer.
Who did you say this was?
That's your brother Jonathan, and he's had his face changed. And Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan? Jonathan, you always were a horror. Do you have to look like one?
Johnny, easy.
Mortimer, have you forgotten all the things I used to do to you when we were boys? Remember the time you would tie to the bedpost and the needles underneath your fingernails?
Oh my God, it is Jonathan. Yes, I remember. I remember you as the most detestable, venomous, vicious form of animal life I ever knew.
Oh, don't you two boys start quarreling the minute you see each other.
There won't be any fighting. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
Well, Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Oh, not in this house.
Well, just for tonight.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
Well, we did invite them for tonight, and it wouldn't be nice to go back on our word.
Just tonight. The first thing in the morning, they're out. Now, where are they going to sleep?
Well, I put them in Jonathan's old room.
That's my home. I will be sleeping in that room. I am here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
You sleep down here tonight?
You bet your life you sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the window seat?
The window seat? Oh, let's not argue about this. That window seat will be good enough for me for tonight. I'll sleep on the window seat.
No, Chen, all this argument makes me think of Mr. Spinalzo.
Spinalzo? Mortimer, you know, it really isn't necessary to inconvenience you like this. I'll sleep down here.
Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Come along, China. We get our things from upstairs, yeah?
Don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, I seem to have lost all track of Mr. Spinalzo.
Who is this Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, just a friend of ours, Channy's been looking for it.
Well, don't bring anyone else in here.
It's all right, Channy. Now, while we pack, I tell you all about it.
Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I can go in with Martha, and you can have my room.
Abby, we will be finished packing in 5 minutes. And then Mortimer, you can have your own room.
You're wasting your time. I told you I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer,
Oh, what's the matter with you, dear?
I've almost been killed.
Almost. Aunt Tabby, Aunt Martha.
Oh, it was just... Yes, he mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac, Mortimer. I'm afraid of him.
Darling, you're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
No, but do you think some hot tea or coffee?
Oh, some coffee. And make some for me. And some sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
We'll make something for both of you.
Things here. Oh,
Were you going somewhere? Do you know what time it is? It's after 12. 12! Elaine, you have to go home.
What?
well, we were going to make sandwiches for you both. It'll just be a minute.
Why don't you remember? We wanted to celebrate your engagement. Yes, dear, that's what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. Oh, and we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine.
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I would. And 5 minutes later, you throw me out of the house. Then tonight, just after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I need to know where we stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, Elaine. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't think so, but it's just a matter of time. You see, dear, insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
Now listen, you're going to have to do better than that.
No, dear. There is a strange taint in the Brewster blood. And if you knew the whole family, well, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg had written Howells a Poppin'.
Just because Teddy is a little...
No, it goes way back to the first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower. You know, in those days, the Indians used to scalp the settlers. He used to scalp the Indians.
Mortimer, that's ancient history.
No, the whole family. Oh, take my grandfather. He tried his patent medicines out on dead people to be sure he wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And there's Jonathan. You just said he's a maniac. He tried to kill you.
Yes, but he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No Brewster should ever marry. I realize now that if I had met my father in time, I'd have stopped him.
None of this proves you're crazy. Look at your aunts. They're Brewsters. They're the sweetest, sanest people I've ever met.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Well, what lovely peculiarities.
There's another one!
There are plenty of them. You can't tell me anything about your aunts.
No, I'm not going to. Oh, wait. You've got to go home. I have a lot of business. Something's just come up. Something very
Come up? From where? You and I are here, alone, together.
Oh, I know I'm acting irrationally. Just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster.
If you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not going to marry me. But I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, you really love me. Will you get the hell out of here?
Will you at least take me home? I'm afraid.
Afraid? A little walk through the cemetery?
Will you kiss me goodnight?
Of course.
Oh.
All right. Good night, dear. I'll call you up in a day or two.
Critic!
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. Come in here now.
Oh, what is it here? Where's Elaine?
I thought you promised me you wouldn't let anyone in here while I was gone.
Well, Jonathan just came
I don't mean
in,
Jonathan.
And then Dr. Einstein.
I don't mean
called.
Dr. Einstein. Is that in the window seat?
Mr. Hoskins, we told you.
It is not Mr. Hoskins.
Oh. Who would that be?
Do you mean to tell me you've never seen that man before?
I certainly am. Well, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anybody can just walk into this house.
Aunt Abby, don't try to get out of this. That's another one of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? He's an imposter. And if he came here to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
But you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window
Yes,
seat.
I did.
Well, this man couldn't have gotten the idea from Mr. Hoskins. Where is Mr. Hoskins?
Oh,
He's going to Panama.
Oh, you married him?
Oh, not yet. He's still downstairs waiting for services, the poor dear. We haven't had a minute. What with Jonathan in the house? Oh, well, we've always wanted to hold a double funeral.
Oh.
I refuse to read services over a total stranger.
A stranger? Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men in the cellar, and you admitted you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. You don't think I'd stoop to telling a fib? Martha,
Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Well, Jonathan, a word is about all you'll have time for. Because I have decided that you and your doctor friend are going to have to get out of this house just as quickly as possible.
I'm glad you recognize the fact that you and I cannot possibly live under the same roof. But you have arrived at the wrong solution. So take your suitcase and get out.
Jonathan, you are beginning to bore me. You have played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Move on.
Mortimer, just because you have graduated from the back fence to the typewriter does not mean you've grown up. Now, I'm staying, you're leaving, and I am now.
You think I can be frightened? If you think there's anything I fear.
Mortimer, I have lived a very strange life, and it's taught me one thing: be afraid of nothing.
Why do you come and see what's in this window seat?
Oh, now I have you.
Jonathan, let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat. Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. I have some very good news for you. Jonathan's leaving, and he's taking Dr. Einstein and their tall companion with him. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm going to give you a chance to get away and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. Oh, very well. In that case, I'll have to call the police.
Oh, do not reach for that telephone. Are you still giving me orders after seeing what's been done to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo? I knew he was a foreigner.
Remember, what happened to Mr. Spinazzo can happen to you, too.
Miss Abby.
Oh, Officer O'Hara, is there something we can do for you?
You saw the lights on, but I'd like to see this in the house. See you got company. Sorry I disturbed. No, come right in.
Come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
How do you do?
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, must be nice having your nephews visiting you. They're gonna be staying for a bit. I'm staying, but Jonathan is just leaving. Hey, we met here before, haven't we?
I don't think so.
Oh, no, Jonathan hasn't known for years.
I hurry, Jonathan. Your things are all packed anyway, aren't they?
You're gonna want to see your goodbyes. I'm gonna be up.
What is your rush? I'd like you to stick around till my brother goes.
I just stopped in to make sure everything was okay.
Oh, we're gonna have coffee in a minute. Won't you join us?
I forgot the coffee.
Well, I better make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by this time, Officer O'Hara.
Don't bother. I gotta ring it. Oh, no. You can have a cup of coffee. My brother will be gone soon. Sit down.
That brother of yours, can I see a photograph of him around here somewhere?
I don't think so.
Reminds me of somebody I know.
He looks like somebody you've probably seen in the movies.
No, I don't go to movies. I hate them. My mother said they were bad for them.
It's full of them. Your mother said that?
Yeah, my mother was an actress, a stage actress. You probably heard of her. Peaches Latour.
Sounds like a name I may have seen on a program. What did she play?
Well, big hit was Martin Chef. Played that 3 years. I was born on tour during the third season.
You were.
Yeah, Sioux City, Iowa. Was born in the back of the dressing room during the second act. Mother made it to the finale.
What a trooper. Must be a good story in your mother. You know, I write about the theater.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic, are you?
Yes.
Oh, my glad to meet you, Mr. Brewster. You and I are in the same line of business.
We are?
I'm a playwright. Listen, being in the police force thing is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years, but I'm just collecting material for the play.
Oh, I'll bet it's a honey.
It ought to be. With all the drama I see being a cop, Mr. Brewster, you have no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
Well, I think I have.
What time you got?
10 after 1.
I gotta ring in.
Oh, wait a minute, O'Hara. On that play of yours, I may be able to help you.
You would? It was me coming in here tonight. Oh, Mr. Brewster, this is great news. Let me tell you the plot.
Oh, you're on your way, eh? Good. Haven't got much time, you know.
Well, I really was just about ready. Oh, Jonathan, are you leaving? Goodbye. I'm saying goodbye. Oh, doesn't this case belong to you?
Oh, yes, Jonathan. You can't forget to take all your things. Officer O'Hara, it was very nice meeting you. We'll get together again and talk about your play.
No, I ain't leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
You told me you were gonna help me with my play. We're gonna write a play together.
I can't do that, O'Hara. I'm not a creative.
No, I'll do all the creative. You just gotta put the words to it.
But O'Hara,
Well, no, Mr. Brewster, I ain't leaving here until I tell you the plot.
I am a creative.
In that case, we'll be running along.
Oh, don't try that. You can't leave yet. You've got to take everything with you, you know. Look, O'Hara, run along. My brother's just gone.
Back away. I've been waiting 12 years.
I'm sorry I was so long.
No, don't bring that in here. O'Hara, won't you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Well, Jonathan is leaving.
Oh, well, that's nice. Come along, Officer O'Hara.
Oh, you don't mind eating in the kitchen, do you, Mr. O'Hara?
And we're out to a genie.
Jonathan, I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn because it gives me a chance to throw you out. And the first one out, your boyfriend, Mr. Spinazzo.
Hey, Mr. Brewster.
Doctor, here. Coming right out.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
Get going now. All three of you.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and me has got to be settled.
Johnny, we got trouble enough. Your brother's giving us a chance to get out of here. What more can you ask for?
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
Johnny, let's get going.
No. We're sleeping right here tonight.
With the cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinazzo in the window seat?
That is all they have on us. We'll simply take Mr. Spinazzo and dump him down in the bay, and then we'll come right back here. And if he tries to interfere...
Now, Johnny.
Doctor, you know when I make up my mind.
Yeah, when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor, where are your instruments?
Okay, but we stick together. Someday we're gonna get stuck together. If we're coming back here, we gotta take these with us?
No, we can leave them here. Hide them in the basement. Move fast. And Mr. Spinazzo can go out the same way he came in.
Hey, Johnny, come quick.
What?
See that hole in the cellar?
Yes.
We got an ace in the hole. Come on, I show you.
Jonathan! Jonathan! Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
Where have you two been? I thought I told you to get going.
We're not going anywhere.
Oh, you're not? You don't think I'm serious, eh? Do you want Officer O'Hara to know what's in that window seat?
We're staying right here.
All right, you asked. This gets me rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. Officer O'Hara, come in here.
If you tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell her what's in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yeah, this elderly gentleman down there seems to be quite dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
What's he doing down in the cellar?
Now, what are you going to say to O'Hara?
Hey, Mr. Brewster, listen, your aunts want to hear it too. Should I get him in here? No, O'Hara, you can't do that now. You've got to go ring in. Oh, the hell with ringing in? Let's get your aunts in here, I'll tell you what. No, O'Hara, not in front of all these people. We'll get together alone someplace later. How about in an hour? At the back room at Kelly's. Fine. You go ring in, and I'll meet you at Kelly's.
Why don't you two go down into the cellar?
Hey, that's fine with me. Where's the cellar? No, not the cellar. We'll meet at Kelly's, but you're going to ring in first. All right, that's only going to take me a minute. I'm going to ditch this guy and be back in 5 minutes. And when I get back, I expect to find you gone. Wait for me.
We'll wait for him, Doctor. I have been waiting a good many years for a chance like this.
We got him right where he wanted. Did he look guilty?
Take the suitcases back to the room, Doctor.
Where they go? Oh, we thought we heard someone leave.
Oh, well, that was just Mortimer. He'll be back in 5 minutes. Now, I was wondering, is there any food left in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein and I would enjoy a bite.
But you won't have time.
No, Mortimer, if you're, excuse me, Jonathan, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, you like it. He's gotta like it.
So, get us some food while we bury Mr. Spinazzo in the cellar.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Mr. Spinazzo cannot stay in our cellar. You have to take him with you.
Well, there's a friend of Mortimer's waiting for him down there.
Friend of Mortimer's?
Yes, he and Mr. Spinazzo will get along fine together. They're both dead.
Oh,
You must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You mean, you know about what's down there?
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's just down there as one of our gentlemen.
Your gentlemen?
And we won't have strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins,
Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger.
And besides, there's no room for Mr. Spinalzo. The cellar is crowded already.
Oh, jeez.
crowded with what?
Oh, there are 12 graves down there.
12 graves?
Yes, and that leaves very little room, and we will be needing it.
You mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered?
Murder? Certainly not. It's one of our charities.
Why, what we've been doing is a mercy.
So, you could take your Mr. Spinalzo out of here.
You have done that here in this house and buried them down there.
Listen, China, we've been chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do. Oh, you got 12, and they got 12.
Oh, no. I've got 13.
Nah, China, 12.
No, 13. There's Mr. Spinalzo. The first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix, Arizona,
Phoenix?
the filling station. And then 3 in Chicago and 1 in South Bend, Indiana. Now that makes 13.
But the one in South Bend don't count. He died of pneumonia.
Well, he wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
He died of pneumonia. He don't count.
Well, he counts with me. I say 13.
Nah, China. You got 12, and they got 12. They're just as good as you are.
Are they? Well, that is easily taken care of. All I need is one more. Just one more.
Well, here I am.
You stop doing that. This is our house and our cellar, and you can't do that. Please, go back upstairs where you belong.
Hey, Martha, go
There's
upstairs.
no use doing what you're doing because it will just have to be undone.
But we won't have it, and you have to stop doing
Now, all right, you'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is.
And you better stop it right now. Oh, Martha, has Mortimer come back yet? No. Oh, this is a terrible thing, burying a good Methodist in with a foreigner.
And I will not have our cellar desecrated.
Yes, but we promised poor Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Oh, where do you suppose Mortimer has gone?
I don't know, but he must be doing something. Because he said to John, you just wait. I'll settle this.
Well, he can't very well settle it, and he'd be out of the house. Oh, all we want settled is what's going on down there.
All right, now where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist. I have his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you? Running around getting papers signed at a time like this.
Do you know what Jonathan's doing?
He put Mr. Hoskins in with Mr. Spinalzo.
Oh, he did he? Well, Lenny, is Teddy up in his room?
Teddy won't be any help.
Once he signs these papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, you had to tell Jonathan about the 12 graves. If I can make Teddy responsible, I can protect you. Don't you see?
No, I don't see. The police are the ones that are supposed to protect us because we pay taxes.
All right, I'll be back down in a minute.
What? Come along, Martha. We're going to the police.
All right. The police? You can't go for the police.
Why can't we?
Because if you tell the police about Mr. Spinalzo, they'll find Mr. Hoskins. And that might make them curious. And then they find out about the other 12 gentlemen.
Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. And I don't think that they would try to interfere with our special affairs if we ask them not to.
But if they find your 12 gentlemen, they'd have to report to headquarters.
I'm not so sure they even bother. Why, they'd have to write a very long report. And if there's one thing that police need to do, it's to write.
You can't count on that. It might leak out. And you couldn't expect a judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
And we know him very well.
He always comes to church to pray, just before elections.
And he promised to come to tea. He promised.
Oh, we must talk to him about that, Abby. Oh, his wife died a few years ago. It's left him very lonely.
Oh, but come along, Martha.
Oh, no, you can't do this. I won't let you. You cannot leave this house, and you cannot have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, we are.
I'm going to do something. We may need to call the police later, but if we do, I'm going to be ready for them.
You've got to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinalzo.
So will you let me handle this my way? I've got to see Teddy.
Oh. Well, if they're not out by morning, Mortimer, we are going to the police.
They'll be out. I promise you that. Now, will you go to bed, please? And for God's sakes, get out of those clothes. You both look like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Well, Abby, that's a relief, isn't it?
Yes, well, if Mortimer is going to do something about it at last, it just means that Jonathan is going to a whole lot of unnecessary trouble. Let's tell him. Oh, Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
It's all done. Right here, Mortimer.
Well, then you'll have to undo it because you'll all be out of here by morning. Mortimer promised.
Oh, all right. Well, in that case, you and Aunt Martha can go to bed and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes, come, Abby.
Good night, Aunties.
Not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time we get up, you will be out of here.
And Mortimer has a way to do it, too.
Oh, then Mortimer is back.
Oh, yes, he's up here talking to Teddy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Well, perhaps you should say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, no, you'll see Mortimer.
Oh, yes. I'll see Mortimer.
Whew. That's all fixed up. Smooth as a lake. Nobody ever knew they were down there. We go upstairs now, huh?
Doctor, aren't you forgetting something?
What?
My brother, Mortimer?
Oh, no, Johnny, not tonight. We do that tomorrow or the next day.
No. Tonight. Now.
But, Johnny, I'm tired of, I got to operate tomorrow.
Oh, yes, you're operating tomorrow, but tonight we take care of Mortimer.
No, Johnny, we go upstairs now, huh?
Doctor, look at me. You can see this is going to be done, can't you?
Ooh, Johnny, I can see. I know that look.
Well, it's a little late to dissolve our partnership.
Okay. But we do it the quick way. The quick twist like we did in London.
This calls for something special. I think perhaps the Melbourne method.
Oh, no, Shiny, not that. 2 hours. And after it was all over, what? The fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne.
We had to work too fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction to it. But Melbourne, now there was something to remember.
Remember? Ugh, I wish I didn't. I'm Shiny, not Melbourne, not me.
Where are your instruments, Doctor?
I won't do it, Shiny, I won't do it.
Get your instruments.
I said I won't do it, Shiny.
Where? You hid them in the cellar, didn't you? Where?
I won't tell you.
I'll find them, Doctor.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But it must be a secret.
A secret proclamation. How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan, I'll sign it right away. Yes, I can fill the cabinet in later.
Yes, let's fill it in now.
No, you wait here. A secret proclamation has to be signed in secret.
But at once, Mr. President.
I'll have to put on my signing clothes.
You go now, huh?
No, Doctor. I'm waiting for something. Something important.
Please, you go now.
Doctor, I have nothing against you. You seem to be a nice fellow. Take my advice. Get out of his house and get just as far away as possible.
Trouble, yeah. You get out.
All right, don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. You get out.
Things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Listen, Chinese in a bad mood. When he's like this, he's a madman. Things happen. Terrible things.
Jonathan doesn't worry me now.
Don't those plays teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least people in plays act like they got sense. That's more than you do.
Oh, you think so, do you? You think that people in plays act intelligently? Oh, I wish you had to sit through some of the plays I've had to sit through. Say the little opus I saw tonight, for instance. In that play, there's a man. He's supposed to be bright. He knows he's in the house with murderers. He ought to know he's in danger. He's even been warned to get out of the house. But does he know? No. Now I ask you, Doctor, is that what an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me?
Oh, he doesn't even have sense enough to be frightened, to be on guard. For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
You mean, won't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that one was in there too.
What did he do?
He sat down. Now, mind you, this fellow's supposed to be bright. There he sits, just waiting to be trussed up. And what do you suppose they used to tie him with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Well, why not? A good idea. Very convenient.
A little too convenient. When are playwrights going to use some imagination? The curtain cord.
And he didn't see him get it?
See him? He sat there with his back to him. This is the kind of stuff I have to suffer through night after night. And they say the critics are killing the theater. It's the playwrights that are killing the theater. So, there he sits, the big dope. This fella who's supposed to be so bright, just waiting to get trussed up and gagged.
Here we go, Doctor.
You?
Oh, Mortimer. Nice and tight. Yeah. Here we go.
Well, you're right about that, fella. He wasn't very bright.
Now, Mortimer, if you don't mind, we're going to finish the story. Mortimer, I have been away for 20 years, But never once in all that time were you out of my mind. In Melbourne one night, I dreamt about you. Then, when I landed in San Francisco, I felt this strange satisfaction that once more I was in the same country with you. Now, doctor, let's get to work.
We do it the quick way for me, huh?
Oh, no. This has to be an artistic achievement. After all, we're performing before a very distinguished critic.
Johnny.
Doctor.
All right. Let's get it over with.
All right, doctor. Let's get to work.
I gotta have a drink first. I can't do this without a drink.
Pull yourself together, doctor.
I gotta have a drink. He came in here this afternoon. There was some wine, remember? I'm trying. We got a drink. We both get a drink.
Oh, wait a minute, doctor. Are you forgetting your manners? Mortimer, I now realize it was you who brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother. Oh, idiot! He goes next. That's all there is to it. He goes next.
No, Johnny, not Teddy. That's where I stop. Not Teddy.
Now we have to work fast.
We do it the quick way, huh?
Yes, doctor, the quick way.
Hey! Colonel's gotta quit blowing that horn!
It's all right, officer. We're going to take the bugle away from him.
Oh, he told the neighbors he wasn't gonna do that no more. He'll be elevated in the morning.
Officer, it won't happen again, we promise.
I gotta talk to him myself. Where are the lights?
Hey! You stood me up! I waited for an hour down at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
He was telling us about the play he saw tonight. That's what happened to the fella in the play.
Did that happen in the play you saw today? They practically stole that from the second act of my play. The second act of my play, right before the guy comes. Let me start from the beginning. It opens in my mother's dressing room where I was born, only I ain't born yet. Now, you gotta hear the plot first. So there she is, making up in her dressing room, right? All of a sudden, through the window comes a guy with a black mustache, turns to her and says, "Monsieur Toi, will you marry me?" And he doesn't know she's pregnant. That's gonna be the twist. Here she is. And the psycho's standing over with a hatchet, and I am tied up in the chair, just like you are. Only the place is an inferno of flaming. That means it's on fire, right? And all of a sudden, in the window comes Man LaGuardia. Hey, go easy on that. Don't forget who paid for it. Hey, how do you like the play so far?
If I'm listening, ain't I?
How about this guy?
Well, put Shiny to sleep.
Well, if he doesn't want to hear no more of that, he don't get any drinks. 3 days later, I got transferred out front of my judge. I mean, somebody stole my bag, Mr. Brewster, right? So I'm walking my feet down the 46th precinct, and all of a sudden, the guy I'm following, turns out he's following me. Hey, don't let anybody in. So, here's what happened.
Shiny, it's cops!
I'm in the dark. It's in the dark. So I brace myself up against the wall. I see the door handle turn. And I says, come in!
Jeez.
Oh, hey, boys.
What the hell is going on here?
Why did he? I think it's the same guy. I think so.
I was just telling him a story. Did you have to tie him up to make him listen?
Better report it at the station. The whole force is
Yeah.
out looking for you.
Yeah.
They said you're here looking for me. We didn't know you were here.
Came to warn the old ladies that there's hell to pay. The coroner blew that bugle again in the middle of the night.
From the way the neighbors have been calling in about it, you'd think the Germans had dropped a bomb in Flatbush Avenue.
Lieutenants on the warpath. Since the colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yes, yes!
Hey, Mr. Brewster.
Get away from me!
Do you know what time it is? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is? Mr. Brewster, those first 2 acts run a little long, but I'm staying in with you leave. You can leave it all out.
Who the hell is this guy?
That's my brother.
Oh, the one that ran away. So he came back.
He came back.
This is Brophy. Get me Mac. I better let him know we found you, Joe. Mac? Tell the lieutenant he can call up the big mad one. We got him in the Brewster house. If you want us to bring him in, all right. We'll hold him right here. Lieutenant's on his way over.
So, I've been turned in, eh? What you got? I bet you and that stool pigeon brother of mine are gonna split the reward. Reward? Oh, no, I'm gonna do some turning in. You think that my aunts are 2 sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there are 13 bodies buried in that cellar.
Eddie?
What the hell are you talking about? You better be careful what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
I'll prove it to you. I'll show you. You come with me to the cellar.
Wait a minute.
13 bodies, and I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to see what's in that cellar?
Go on down in the cellar with me.
I don't want to go in the cellar with him. Look at that puss. He looks like Boris Karloff.
Oh, I do!
What do you know about that?
Come in.
What the hell are you men?
Well,
I told you
sir,
I was gonna handle this.
we was just about to,
What do you do? Put up a fight?
This ain't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother. He tried to kill Knun.
all I said was, it looks like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over.
I don't think he's wanted somewhere.
You kind of think he's wanted something. If you guys don't look at that circulars we put up in the station, the least you can do is read proof detective. Certainly he's wanted. And in the end, he escaped from the prison for the criminally insane.
Oh.
My God, that's how he was described. Looks like Carlo.
Was there a reward mentioned?
Yeah, and I'm claiming it.
Oh.
You're trying to get us down in the cellar?
Said there were 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies in the cellar. And that didn't tip you off he came out of a nut house? Don't all call you dog kind of crazy. Oh, it's Shakespeare. All right. And you needn't
bother to tell me? Right here. Writing a play with Mortimer Brewster. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. Get out and report in.
Can I come down to the station and use the typewriter?
No, get out of here. Turn that guy over and bring him to. See what you can find out about his accomplice. The guy that helped him escape, he's wanted too. Wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in. With the police force full of flatheads like you, falling for that kind of story. 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
President Roosevelt.
The 60 boys that blows the bugle. Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Oh, dear me. Another yellow fever victim.
Oh.
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
Now, Colonel, this is a spy we got in the White House.
Did you get that guy out of here?
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
You stay out of it.
You forget, as president, I'm also head of the Secret Service.
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
I'd like to talk to you about my brother Teddy, the one who blew the bugle.
We're not going to discuss that, Mr. Brewster. He's got to be put away.
Oh, I agree with you. In fact, everything has been arranged for. I've had these commitment papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician. And Teddy has signed them himself, you see. And I signed as next of kin.
Where's he going?
Happydale.
Okay, I don't care where he goes, as long as he goes.
Well, he's going all right. But I want you to know that everything that's happened around here, Teddy is responsible for. Now, those 13 bodies in the cellar.
Yeah, those 13 bodies in the cellar. It ain't enough that he's scaring all the neighbors and disturbing the peace of his bugle. But can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got out? And now he's starting a yellow fever scare. Ain't that you?
Yes, 13 bodies in the cellar. Would anyone ever believe that story?
Well, you can't help it. Some people are just dumb enough. You don't know what to believe sometimes. Why, just last year, some crazy guy started a murder rumor over in Greenpoint, and I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to prove that.
Will you excuse me?
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's here to meet Teddy.
Meet Teddy.
Mr. Witherspoon is the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, you come in. This is Captain...
Lieutenant, glad you're here, Super, because you're taking him back to today.
Today? I had no idea.
Not today.
Oh, listen, I've got a lot of business to attend to, so why don't you run along home and I'll call you up.
Nuts.
I had no idea it was this immediate.
Papers are all signed. It goes today.
Complete insubordination. You may well learn that I am no mollycoddle. When the President of the United States is treated that way, what is this country coming to?
There's your man, Super.
Just a minute, Mr. President. I have some very good news for you. Your term in office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Practically.
Oh, now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. I must get started right away. Ooh. Is he trying to move into the White House before I move out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft.
This is not Mr. Taft. It's Mr. Witherspoon. He's here to be your guide in Africa.
Bully! Bully! I shall bring my equipment down. So when the safari gets here, tell them to wait. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm off to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Charge!
Good morning, darling.
Oh, we have visitors.
Oh, this is Lieutenant Mooney.
Oh, how do you do, Lieutenant? Oh, you're not the fuss sergeant that the policemen say you are.
Oh, why, Lieutenant Mooney's here. You know, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Oh, yes, we're going to speak to Teddy about that.
It's a little more serious than that, Mr.
And this is Mr. Witherspoon. He is the superintendent at Happydale.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Witherspoon?
You've come to meet Teddy.
He's coming. Hey,
The police want Teddy to go there today,
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it's got to be done. The papers are all signed, he's going along with the superintendent.
Well, we won't permit it. We will take his bugle away from him.
We won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law is the law. He's committed himself and he's going.
Well, if he's going, we're going too.
Yes, you'll just have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
It's sweet of them to want to, but it's impossible. We can't take sane people in that hill.
Mr. Witherspoon, if you'll let us live there with Teddy, we'll see to it that Happydale is in our will, and for a generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money, but I'm afraid.
Now, let's be sensible about this, lady. Here I am, wasting my morning when I've got more serious work to do. After all, there's still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes. Are there?
It ain't just this bugle blowing and scaring your neighbors, but things will just get worse. Sooner or later, we'd be forced to dig up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been telling me around there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Well, there are 13 bodies in our
Oh
cellar.
dear.
If that's why you think Teddy has to go away, you come down to the cellar with us and we'll prove it to you.
Well, there's one. Now, Mr. Spinalzo, he doesn't belong there, and he's going to have to leave. But the other 12 are our gentlemen.
I'm sure the lieutenant does not want to go down in the cellar. Why, he was just telling me that only last year he had to dig up a half-acre lot. Weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Oh, well, you don't have to dig ours. The graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Say, Superintendent, don't you think you could find room for these ladies?
Well, just come with us. We'll show you them.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a very busy man. How about it, Super?
Well, they'd have to be committed. Oh, and he committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers? Why, certainly.
Oh, if we can go with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Yes, where are they?
It's coming around, Lieutenant.
Hello, Mr. Klein.
Good morning, Mr. Klein. Are you here too?
Yeah, me and Brophy have your other men throughout the kitchen.
Well, sign them up, Superintendent. I want to get this all cleaned up. 13 bodies.
Now, if you'll sign here, and you here, Aunt Abby.
I'm looking so forward to this. The neighborhood here has changed so.
And just think, a front lawn again.
Oh, we're forgetting something.
What?
We need the signature of a doctor. Dr. Eisenstein, won't you come over here? We have some papers for you to sign.
I must,
Just come right over, doctor. Do you know what? One time last night, I thought the doctor was going to operate on me. Just come right over here, doctor. Just sign right here, doctor.
Were you leaving?
oh, I think I must be going.
Oh, aren't you going to wait for Donovan?
Oh, I don't think we're going to the same place.
Hello, Elaine. Glad to see you. Stick around.
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Hello, Mac. This is Rudy. We picked up that guy that's wanted in Indiana. Now, there's a description of his accomplice on the desk there. Read it to me, will you? Yeah. About 40, 6 foot, 108 pounds. Dark hair, blue eyes. Talks with a German accent. Poses as a doctor. Thanks, Mac.
It's all set, Lieutenant. The doctor here has completed the signatures.
Thanks, Doc. You're really doing Brooklyn a service.
Oh, if you'll sign here, Mr. Brewster, as an extra gift. Oh, yes, of course. Right here? That's fine. Now this makes everything complete, everything legal. Oh, yes. Aunties, now you're safe. When do you think you'll want to start?
Well, Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy what he can take along?
Upstairs? I'll show you.
Oh, no, Mortimer. You stay here. We want to talk to you. Right this way. Up the stairs and then turn left.
Here. Mortimer, dear, now that we're moving, the house really is yours.
Yes, and we want you to live here.
Oh, no, Aunt Abby, this house is too full of memories.
But you'll need a home when you and Elaine are married.
Oh, darlings, that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We're going to be married right away.
Mortimer, we're very worried about something.
Oh, darlings, you're going to love it at Happy Day.
Oh, we're very happy about the whole thing. That's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Will they investigate those signatures?
Oh, don't worry, they won't look up Dr. Einstein.
It's not his signature, dear. It's yours.
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Yes, of course. Why not?
Oh, there's something we never wanted to tell you. But now you're a man, and it's something Elaine should know, too. You're not really a Brewster.
Your mother came to us as a cook, and 3 months later, you were born. She was such a lovely woman and such a good cook. We didn't want to lose her. So brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Oh, now don't feel badly about it, dear.
It doesn't matter to you, Elaine.
Elaine, did you hear? Do you understand? I'm a bastard!
Well, I must see about breakfast. Well, Mortimer's going to come over my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and we're going to have breakfast together.
Yes, I need some coffee. I've had quite a night.
Well, I should think you just want to go to bed.
Just a moment with this person. Maybe.
We won't lead the wagon like cars out front.
Jonathan, are you leaving now?
That's right. Going back to Indiana. There's some people there who want to take care of him the rest of his life.
Oh, Jonathan, I'm so glad you have someplace to go.
We're leaving too.
Yes, we're going to Happydale.
Then this house is seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn this property over to the church?
Oh, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
Get going.
Well, goodbye, aunties. I can't better my record now, but neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. The score stands even, 12-12.
That Jonathan always wants a mean boy. Never can stand to see anyone get ahead of him.
We can show him that he's not so Mr. Witherspoon. Is your family with you at Happydale?
I have no family.
Oh. I suppose you consider everyone at Happydale your family.
Oh, I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As head of the institution, I must be quite aloof.
Oh, that must be very lonely for you.
It is, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha,
Oh.
if you won't stay for breakfast, at least you can stay and have a glass of our elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
Oh, we make it ourselves.
Why, yes. Of course, at Happydale, our relationship will be more formal. But here, you don't see much elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I had had my last glass of it.
Oh, no.
No. Here it is.
Will he do that? Yeah.
Anyone who'd like to meet with Cass afterwards, we're running a case for everything, and we can bring back in here. Thank you so much.
Oh.